This is why black freedmen should be singled out. Meet these 4 black entrepreneurs who never begged to be accepted into white establishments, but created their own in Tulsa. Mabel B. Little. Ms. Mabel Little appeared in a few documentaries about the massacre before her death. She arrived in Tulsa in 1913 with $1.25 in her pocket. Miss Little, who lived to be 104, opened a successful hair salon after working in the beauty industry for decades. She and her husband had 10 different black businesses together before they were all destroyed the night of the Tulsa massacre. B.C. Franklin. Many are not aware that our black ancestors attempted to rebuild after the massacre. Although things never went back to the way they were, this was done with the help of Mr. B.C. Franklin. Mr. Franklin was a lawyer and business owner who moved to Greenwood a few months before the massacre. After the massacre, he continuously challenged white supremacists by arguing that discriminatory ordinances were meant to stop Greenwood residents from rebuilding. Ellis Walker Woods. Education was also a big deal for black families in Greenwood, as was the case with Mr. Ellis Walker Woods. Mr. Woods walked from Memphis to Oklahoma after seeing a flyer advertising for black teachers in Oklahoma. He was hired in 1913 at Booker T. Washington High School. As its principal, the beloved educator would serve in that role for 35 years as well as have multiple businesses under his belt, all ruined the night of the massacre. Simon Berry. Mr. Simon Berry, a pilot, responded to Tulsa's white-only taxi service by starting his own taxi service to respond to the needs of his people. He started his company with a Model T Ford. He would eventually expand his operations to include a bus line and, later, a charter plane service for wealthy oilmen. Many don't know their stories, but they help to prove that there is power in black economics. Our black freedmen ancestors and elders left us black inspiration and a blueprint. Know our black freedmen's history and shut people down who are not one of us and speak against us. I'll leave you with these words from Mrs. Mabel Simmons before her transition.
Didn't have one thing left and never received a dime. Up until this day, they never. And it ought to be added in order they ought to be made pay. Even the children have suffered. Our children have suffered because their parents lost everything they had, and the children weren't able to get along, and they were doing fine.